Spice and Wolf, Volume 5 by Isuna Hasekura. The biting wind of winter whips across the northern road as Kraft Lawrence, a seasoned traveling merchant, guides his wagon towards Lenos, a bustling town known for its lumber and furs. His companion, Holo, a wise wolf disguised as a beautiful young woman, nestles beneath a thick blanket in the driver's box, seeking refuge from the cold. Though their destination holds whispers of Holo's ancient past and the possibility of finding information about her distant home, a strange tension hangs in the air. Upon reaching Lenos, Lawrence and Holo are greeted by an unusual sight: a throng of merchants camped outside the town walls, each bearing the signs of fatigue and frustration. Lawrence senses that something is amiss. Their suspicions are confirmed when they receive a hastily made registration plaque at the checkpoint, granting them the dubious privilege of conducting business within the town. At their usual lodging, a humble inn run by the taciturn Harold Eklund, they encounter a mysterious, cowled figure with piercing blue eyes. This enigmatic traveler, who Holo later identifies as a woman, piques their curiosity. Lawrence learns from Harold that the town chronicler, Rigolo Deadly, is currently attending a meeting of the Council of 50, a governing body comprised of Lenos's most influential figures. It becomes clear that the council's deliberations are directly tied to the unusual circumstances surrounding the fur trade. Later, at the docks, Holo's keen ears pick up snippets of conversation, revealing the town's predicament. The cancellation of the annual church-sponsored Northern campaign has disrupted the usual influx of Southern travelers, leaving the fur trade in a precarious state. The council is grappling with the decision of whether to sell furs to the foreign merchants camped outside the town or to prioritize the local craftsmen who rely on those furs to create finished goods. Driven by his curiosity and the scent of potential profit, Lawrence seeks information about the council meeting. He visits the tavern, the Beast and Fish Tale, where a quick-witted, red-haired barmaid reveals that the council is likely to prohibit fur sales to the foreign merchants, much to the chagrin of the local craftsmen. Back at the inn, Lawrence encounters the mysterious traveler again and learns that she is a female merchant named Eve Bolin, who has connections with Rigolo. She offers to introduce Lawrence to the chronicler in exchange for conversation without having to hide her true identity. Intrigued, Lawrence agrees. During their walk to Rigolo's house, Holo and Lawrence engage in a playful yet profound conversation about the nature of relationships and the inevitability of change. Holo expresses her fear of becoming too attached and ultimately experiencing the pain of separation. Lawrence, though initially confused, begins to understand the depth of her emotions. At Rigolo's home, they are greeted not by the grumpy old man they expected, but by a young, kind nun named Melta. She leads them to Rigolo, a surprisingly young and energetic man who reveals his impressive archives housed in a well-organized cellar. Holo discovers several promising volumes containing old tales of Lenos. Later, Lawrence learns from Eve about the intricacies of the fur trade and the political maneuvering of the church. The Bishop of Lenos is vying for power and aims to establish a cathedral, solidifying his position as archbishop. Eve, having fallen out of favor with the church, seeks an opportunity to recoup her losses and proposes a risky deal to Lawrence. Eve reveals that she was once a member of a fallen noble house and was sold to a wealthy merchant. Her plan involves using Holo as collateral, presenting her as a noblewoman to secure a loan from a trading company. With this money, they would purchase furs before the foreign merchants and sell them at a significant profit. In exchange, Eve and Harold would receive a large portion of the profits, and Lawrence would inherit the inn. Torn between the allure of fulfilling his dream and the potential danger to Holo, Lawrence spends a restless night contemplating the offer. Holo, sensing his distress, urges him to prioritize his own desires and not let her stand in the way of his ambitions. Lawrence investigates Eve's story and discovers inconsistencies. He suspects that she was involved in smuggling rock salt disguised as statues of the Holy Mother with the help of the church. With the cancellation of the Northern campaign, the church has shifted its focus to the fur trade, leaving Eve out in the cold. Lawrence confronts Eve, and a tense standoff ensues. He accuses her of using him as a shield against the church and reveals his knowledge of her smuggling operation. Eve admits her desperation and attacks him, leaving him injured and taking the bag of gold. However, she leaves behind Errold's deed to the inn as a final gesture. Despite his injuries, Lawrence seeks out Holo at the Delink Company and uses the deed to secure her release. Holo, initially furious at his perceived recklessness, is moved by his actions and agrees to continue their journey together. As they leave Lenos, hand in hand, they acknowledge the uncertainty of the future and the inevitability of change. Yet, their bond remains strong,